I am myself learning a lot by attending this conference. I have seen the tremendous interest which has been generated. I have seen and interacted with a lot of people in the short time that I was here. I have also come under pressure from my own colleagues. Mr. S.K. Sharma, the advisor, mentioned what he would find now easier to get me to agree to. Mr. Puranik mentioned that a number of recommendations would be coming out and he would be knocking at my door. Well, so long as you don't knock too late in the night, I really have no objection. You're most welcome anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fourth such event which is being organized in India. And each event has gone from strength to strength in terms of the number of participants, in terms of the papers that have been presented, in terms of the delegates that have come. In fact, in terms of the sheer knowledge base which is emerging and which is exchanged amongst all of you. What's the reason for that? I think the reasons are not very far to seek. Because in today's world, as others have also said, it is increasingly evident that there is no single system of healthcare which can adequately cover the needs of the people. With the stresses and strains which people are facing, there is a need to turn to systems which are more cost-effective and less harmful. And that is where the Indian systems of medicine score very high. These systems of medicine, again, as has been said, they really represent a way of life. And in that way of life, they teach us what healthy living is. But then, not everyone believes in that, despite the fact that most of our medications don't have too many side effects. In fact, most people say zero side effects. Most of our medications are plant-based and in complete harmony with nature. And yet there are growing doubts. There are doubts, there are calls for standardization, there are calls for standards to be maintained, there are calls for research to be stepped up. The older generation in India, particularly the older generation, they have grown up with these systems. And therefore, often you hear them asking, why do you want to validate? Why do you want to validate what is in harmony in nature? In fact, how do you validate? For example, the invocation which was held over here just before the ceremony started, how do you validate a thing like that? It's part of our way of life. So when you hear these questions, truly you have to view them in the perspective in which they are made, that for us, the older generation, Indian systems of medicine, Ayurveda particularly, has been a way of life. Having said that, I don't think we can ignore the need for standardization or for quality control or for greater research. So what has the government been doing? The central government has taken a number of steps. I would like to dwell on only 2 or 3 of them. Number one, the budget. The budget of this department when we started out 15 years back was not very large, even though money was far more of value in those years, in 95. We had barely 21 crores. 5 years down the line, this sum doubled to approximately 50 crores. Again, 5 years down the line in 2005, 2006, the budget went up by more than 5 times, almost 300 crores. And 5 years down the line, which is the current financial year, we expect to close with something like 888 crore rupees. For those of you who are not familiar with the Indian currency, my colleagues from abroad, we have gone up from less than $4 million at today's exchange rate 15 years back to approximately 188 million in this financial year. That's a huge step up. But much more important than this overall spend is the spend which we do on research and education, on research and development. You know that the R&D component in most of our institutes across the world, across all sectors, is very small, woefully inadequate. But as far as the Ayush systems are concerned, the central government has been very clear that research must be stepped up. In the beginning, when our research councils were being set up and infrastructure had to be constructed, as much as 40% of our total spend was on the research component, R&D component. Now that the infrastructure requirements have stabilized, Our spend on R&D has come down, but it is still very high at 15%. We now have 5 councils, one for each system of medicine. Earlier this year, the central government recognized another system of medicine, SOVA-RIGPA. And SOVA-RIGPA, the legislation has already been passed, and a council will be set up shortly in the next few months. So then we will have a total of 6 councils. Below these 5 existing councils, research is going on through 86 centers, both intramural and extramural. And there's a tremendous amount of research which is going on. So I hope that these efforts will not slacken. I spoke of standardization also, and standardization, there are a large number of drug manufacturers here. Mr. Puranik mentioned that there went up from 30 sellers to about 100, and buyers also went up. Standardization is something which will be of interest to them. Standards can only be set once they are evolved. We have 4 pharmacopoeia committees functional right now. But to give a greater synergy of their activities, the central government has now set up a pharmacopoeia commission which will oversee the functioning of these committees and also help to expedite the work. Again, something which is of interest to both the manufacturers, the buyers, the sellers, and more importantly, the consumers. Quality. Quality is something which all of us need to focus on. Towards this end, the central government has taken initiatives in association with the Quality Council of India. 5 initiatives have been taken, and I do hope that the industry, which is represented here in large numbers, will come forward and take advantage. There is a scheme for certification of Ayush products. There is a scheme for accreditation of Ayush hospitals. There is a gap testing of the drug testing laboratories. There is a gap study which is being conducted, and there is a scheme for good practices, good agricultural practices, and good collection practices of medicinal plants. As I said, if you are able to get a quality mark on your products, there is greater faith not only in India but even abroad. What we are doing here through this conference, through other measures, this message needs to be spread far and wide. That is the only way that we will be able to build on the growing resurgence of interest over here. Within the country, we are taking a number of steps by organizing health melas in different states. And I'm particularly happy to see the very, very positive support which I have got while sitting on the dais here and talking to the medical minister and to the Chief Secretary, Government of Karnataka. Both of them have promised whatever support the Department of Ayush requires will be given by the state government. I am indeed happy for that. I am sure other states will take note of that and also come forward. We have decided to take this strategy worldwide also, and for that a multi-pronged approach is being followed. Currently we are offering 50 scholarships to students who are desirous of pursuing their studies here, foreign students. I would request our foreign delegates, those of you who have come, when you go back, please spread the word amongst the student community so that these scholarships are fully utilized. We are doing another thing through our Indian missions abroad. These type of conferences, not so large, but these type of conferences we are now organizing in other countries. In the last 12 months, we have visited and held conferences in countries as far apart as Austria, Germany, South Africa, and there are delegates from South Africa, Thailand, Trinidad, and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, your Congress has deliberated over the last 1 week on a large number of items. Very important recommendations have flowed, and these are in the fundamental areas of education, research, and need for capacity building. I am very pleased to learn that each of these recommendations has been followed up with a detailed action plan. It is this detailed action plan which will enable all of us, when we return to our respective jobs, to carry forward the work in a very well-defined and meaningful framework. More important, I think, this Congress has shown us one more thing, that though there are challenges, though the situation is changing in the world, the basic concepts are still the same, and we need not give up the basic concepts. This is our strength, and this need not be given up. We in India are prepared to meet whatever challenges come in the way, and I assure you we will overcome them. It's been a long week. As I said, a large number of events have taken place, number of buyer-seller meets, international conferences, on the sidelines, separate plenary sessions. It's been very, very hectic, but I'm sure you people are not tired. You're not tired, I'm confident, because what you have been discussing rejuvenates not only your body, but also your mind and your spirit. And it is in this inner core of ours that we will find the way to true health and therefore happiness. Because our systems of medicine, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, all of these systems of medicine, they really are a way of life. They focus primarily on the way in which we live to ensure that we have the healthiest experience and healthiest existence. Thus, if we follow these, we can avoid recourse to medical assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I believe that the popularity of the Indian systems of medicine, it would be greatly enhanced if we are able to quickly and effectively find remedies to common ailments, to common issues which face most of the people of today. But I believe that our success would be well and truly achieved if only we can ensure that the younger generation realizes the true potential of these systems at a younger stage of their life rather than later, by which time the stresses and strains have taken their toll and their recovery to a healthy lifestyle makes it all the more difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and for a patient hearing.